Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this week's trades and the weekly recap. Before I get into the weekly recap, I did finish the week with 16 wins, 6 losses for a win rate of 72.73%, which is below my 80% goal. I like to target every week. Half my losses came on Friday. Fridays have been my I haven't been doing that good on Fridays the last couple weeks. I might have to dial it back on Fridays until I get back in rhythm, or I don't know. It's not even necessarily me. I mean, the last couple of Fridays have been choppy. The market's been in a narrow range, and it's been killing plays in both directions. And I'll get to that when we get to Friday. I'll show you what I mean by that. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and like the video. These take a long time to make. This is how you learn. If you want to learn what I did, why I did the mistakes I made, and why I took the plays I did, these are the videos you need to watch, because I kind of go down what I was thinking and why I took them and stuff like that. So with that said, let's see. Now go on Twitter and you can see the timestamps and the plays I made. If you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and the bio section of social media. And I will try to cover some of the trade ideas which I've listed in the room before the morning. Now on Monday, I had 3 wins and 1 loss. Let's see. I started out with, SPY calls at 9:40 on the 11th, which is right here. Now, where is it on the hourly? The 11th is right here. No, right here. You can see it has a nice little bullish flag right here. I was watching that, and I said in the room on the 11th, Facebook calls over 300. And I actually said SPY puts under 436, which is right here, right in this area. It was going, like I said, it was going down. I mean, SPY was having a little bit of trouble with selling. It was selling the rips every time I had a pop. It would just end up diving. So I was looking at the bearish side of this at first, but when it did break out over these, let's see what this timestamp says right here. 9:33. Yeah, I said at 9:33 a.m. on the 11th, I said SPY calls over PDC. And PDC is right here. It's not going to show because obviously today is Sunday, and it's not going to show previous day close, which being last Monday. So this is right here, 437.80-ish is where previous day close was, right here. So when it failed to come back down and it popped, that's where I ended up grabbing it. So I grabbed the 438 calls at 97 cents, and it went to $2.51. So I made a nice 100% move right there. This is why you got to be able to flip your thesis right away, because at this point, before pre-market, let's see, the trade ideas room at 9:21, I was looking for puts, and that's when it was 9:21 right here. It was starting to come down a little bit, then it just popped. And when it did that, I switched right away. If it gets over PDC, that it's gonna pop. So I did change my thesis right away after I got a better look what was happening at opened. And sometimes you get this feeling, and it worked out really well. So that ended up working out for a 100% gain. Then I ended up grabbing SPX puts at 11:16, which is right here. Had this nice little pop up, came back down, it broke down right here. I got the 43.90 puts at $2.30. I was also looking at it from previous day high, as you can see right here. This was pre-market high from the previous day on Friday. Rejected that, came back down, it made a little small descending triangle right here, pushing down, flat right there, and grabbed it right there. So the 43.90 puts, if you held all the way through, went from $2.30 to $28.70. So that was 1,100% move, 1,100% move if he held all the way through, which was a monster play. Then I ended up grabbing SPX calls. Initially we had the 43.90 puts. Now I got the 43.90 calls at let's see, 206, which is right here. Now came back down. I was watching it right here. I was just surprised it just dumped as much as it did. Then it came down here to the RCT trend line, and it was at pre-market lows. And I saw it bounce right here. I waited for it to get over the RCT trend line right here, over this little area right here, the 436 70 area. When I got that, that's when I grabbed the 43.90 calls. They went to from 265 to 440. So that was a nice little play right there. And usually when you play the SPX, it's just better to set smaller goals. Take the 50 cents to $1 versus trying to get home runs. Because if you hold for home runs, the chance of you getting a home run with SPX is very, very slim. Maybe 1 out of 20 times you'll get it, but if you actually stick to the 50 cents to $1 goal, that you'll nail it 90% of the time. And those small little base hits, double plays, they end up doing your account very well. So sometimes it's just better to stick to a smaller thesis and take base hits instead of home runs. You'll end up working out better. Then I end up taking let's see, the 43.90 calls again at 248, which is right here. Now I got this little push right there. I stuck to my thesis, the 50 cents to $1. Came back down, it came back up right here, and I grabbed the 43.90 calls again. Now I was thinking, okay, we're down from 440, we're down $4. It's sitting in a little area like this, going end of day, close to end of day. We're almost 3 o'clock, almost power hour, and usually what ends up happening, usually I should quote, use loosely, is that when we have a big dump like this going into low and chopping going into end of the day, we usually pop. So I was thinking we were going to get an end of the day squeeze to view off, but the sell-offs at the end of the day was still happening. Just about every day last week, not last week, but the week before, we're having end of the day dumps. And I was just thinking, okay, after a $4 dump, it's bottoming out right here, pre-market lows. I can't imagine we would dump more into close, but I was completely wrong, and it didn't pop. It just dropped more. So yeah, so that was loss number 1 for the week. Sometimes things just happen and you're wrong with your thesis, and it doesn't matter what the chart looks like end of day. You get a lot of these end of the day shenanigans that the market makers like to play, and they'll make the chart look bullish or bearish, and they'll just do what they want end of day regardless of the setup. And at this point, Monday sell-offs at the last half an hour was still the play, because it's been happening in Friday, it happened there. Thursday. It happened almost every day except this day it didn't. It happened 9 out of 10 times right there. It chopped right here. This must have been Friday. Yeah. Oh, this was Thursday. Wednesday maybe. No, that was Monday. Yeah, Friday it sold off right there. So as you can see right there, only 2 times it didn't sell off in the last couple weeks. So where are we right here? Let's see, on Monday, that was Monday. Tuesday, I took 1 play. It was Apple. I'm not quite sure why I only took 1 play on Monday. Let's see, Monday was Thanksgiving for us, which is the Canada, had Thanksgiving on Monday. Tuesday, oh yeah, I had to do I had to service the car, so that's why I didn't trade that much. I was gone most of the afternoon. So I grabbed puts on Apple at open. Now I was looking at it. Let's see, on the 12th. Let's see if I said anything. The 12th trade ideas room. Like I said, if you're unfamiliar what I do every morning, and I put out 2 or 3 trade ideas before it opens, so to watch these plays, see if they break the levels, and those are the plays I'm going to take. On Tuesday, I took Roku call. No, I didn't take the trade ideas I posted was Roku calls over 325, Microsoft calls over 297, Apple puts under 142.50, and it did break the 142.50, and I grabbed the 142 puts at $1.14, and it went to $1.73, and that little push right there. So that was a nice little play. It was very fast and very smooth. But the reason I put out these trade ideas before pre-market is that you can pull up the chart, you can pull up the options chain, you can decide yourself if you're going to take it or not, regardless of what I do. It's not traded, it's not financial advice. It's just what I'm looking at and what I'm going to end up taking. And if you take it, that's up to you. That's your decision. And that way it also stops that if you do decide to take it, you're not chasing it after the fact. You can see it. Sometimes I've even got people in the room actually getting in before me, which is really, really good to see. I love seeing people in the room being proactive and getting in before me and seeing what I see. And that's the whole purpose of doing what I do, is that so you can understand it and see what I see and take the plays if you want. So Apple was the only one I played on Tuesday, and that was one winner. And it was kind of choppy here and there, but then it had the news after hours, which if someone held puts overnight, those would have skyrocketed. But I don't remember what the news was exactly. I think it was something to do with the iWatch production slowdown or something like that. I can't really remember. I'm lucky if I remember yesterday, let alone 3 days ago or a week ago. Then on Wednesday, I played SPY. Actually, I've had Apple puts at the beginning. Okay. On the 13th, pre-market trade ideas channel, SPY calls over 435, Apple puts under 140, Facebook calls over 327. Right here, Apple under 140. Well, usually, 140 was right here, and I just rounded down, so it was a nice round full number, so it was easy to look at. But yeah, I did grab Apple puts at 933. I grabbed the 140 puts at $1.18, and they went to $1.62 in that little push right there. So that was a nice play to start with. Then I ended up grabbing, let's see, SPY puts. And what SPY has been doing the last couple weeks is that any momentum that it gets ends up getting crushed. So it's basically been selling the pops on the 13th. Let's get up the 13th. I grabbed SPY puts at 1021. 1021. Right here. Oh yeah. Okay, I remember this. There was a news or something that happened here, and it had a nice little drop, and it got back up, it pulled back up. Then I ended up grabbing it here. Sometimes if you have all these large red candles right here, they'll come back up and retrace 50%, 80% of the candle, and that's when you can get back in if you want to short. And when you don't want to short down here, just wait a couple minutes and it will end up retracing, and that's what I ended up doing. I got the 432 puts at 115. Even if I brought it down to a smaller time frame, I could show you exactly where I was. Let's see, is this the 13th? Yep. I got it at what time? 10:21. 10:21, right in here. Right here is where I got it. See, I had this big drop right here. Got it up here. And it dropped right here. This is where I got it. So they went from not that much, from 115 to 140, that little drop right there. So I don't use the 10-minute time frame. I was just doing that so you guys could see what I was talking about. It dropped and it came back up, and this is where I ended up grabbing it for a nice little push back down. Then I ended up grabbing, let's see, SPY 433 puts at 1039. Right here. Right here. 1039. Right here. So I grabbed 433 puts at 125. The rejection of VWAP. Then I added more at $1.05 because the 433 puts I got were $1.35. Then I added more at $1.05, making my new average to $1.20. And I did get out at 148 right here. It did end up dropping, so got it here. It came back down. I added more when it popped up, and then when it turned green, I got out. I don't usually add, but I did. Not quite sure why I did. Not quite sure why. I get the VWAP rejection in the 20 EMA because this is the first time. Because if you look any time on the chart, anytime that the price gets away from the moving averages, one of two things happens: that the price either chops to bring the moving averages down to it, or it likes to bounce to the moving average to reject, and that's what it did right here. So when it did reject right here the second time, this is where I ended up selling. So I did grab SPX puts again at 134. 134, where is that? Right here, double top? Yeah, right here is where I grabbed it. 134, the double top. I grabbed the 43.45 puts at 240. Let's see. And they went from 240 to right here. They went to 420. This was FOMC. Okay, I forgot about that. This is the FOMC. Now, okay, let's just get this right. We kind of get it down to the smaller time frame. We can see these moves on the 13th. Now I started with let's see, right here was the double top. I grabbed the 43.45 puts at 240 at 134, which is right here. What I did was I was looking for a double top, a little bit of a pullback before FOMC, and it didn't quite happen. Then I ended up grabbing the 43.80 calls at $1.80. That's the FOMC hedge. Anytime you usually get near high a day, near FOMC, they like to ridiculously push it, even if it's not good news or bad news. And FOMC is very, very tricky to play. If you know how to play it, it's very predictable. The first move is usually the wrong one, and it popped, then it dropped, then it just came back and recovered. But usually they'll pop and drop, or they'll drop and pop, and they'll just continue going in that direction. So I did end up taking a win on both sides because they end up both doing really well. Now the 435 puts, let me just see the, I'm just looking on the room. Yeah, the calls, I got the calls after I got the puts. I was still hanging on to the puts. It did pop at 2 o'clock, 2:03, 2 o'clock. So the hedge calls that I had, I got at $1.80. They did pop and go to $6.90. So they went 250% move. Then it dropped. So when it did drop, I was able to get out of my puts at almost 100%. So they went down to 420. So they ended up working out really well. There was a nice little whipsaw move right here when you have puts, SPX puts, they pop and drop really quickly. If you have both sides as a hedge, they'll both be in the money, not in the money, but they'll both make money really quickly if they move quickly. But if they chop. Now, if this didn't drop right here and it chopped right here before I did this, they probably wouldn't have made any money. But because they whipsawed so fast, they did do well. Now, on the last play of the day, I love playing FOMC because you just make a lot of money on that, especially if you play it right. And once in a while, FOMC can kill both sides. If you have a strangle or a straddle, they just will, not much will happen, or just chop and it will kill both sides. I mean, it does happen, it's rare, but you just have to be mindset that it does and can happen. And I did grab, for the end of the day, I grabbed 4350 calls at, 4350 puts at 225 at 301. Now I'll go back to the 10 minute because I don't look at the 3 minute. Let's see, 4350 puts at 301. Where is it at 301? 301. Right here, right there. I grabbed it right there. Now, I grabbed the puts at 225, and I do remember this because I was expecting another big end of the day dump again. They did end up dropping. They did end up doing pretty well. I did sell some at 320 and 340. So I did sell most of my position over $3, but I had a couple hung on to for the end of the day dump, and it just ended up chopping up. I bounced a little bit off the 20 EMA and just chopped at the higher day, and the puts went worthless. I mean, I only had a couple. I think overall I was only down like $20 or $30 for the entire position, so I can't take the win when the overall position went red on me, so it was a loss. So I kind of feel like I took some reckless plays right in here. I mean, I took a couple reckless plays this week. I need to like dial it back and be a little more cautious, and this was reckless. I did make it a win though. I just it was kind of reckless. So I mean, I did pretty. I mean, if I stuck with my goal, I should have dumped it all over 3, but I didn't. I was looking for a nice big end of the day dump like this, or even like this, and it just didn't happen. So I should have known it wasn't going to happen. So I even had a chance to break out even, but I kind of got greedy. But whatever, it is what it is. I was up so much. No, I shouldn't say I was up so much, man. I sold so much of it that even if it went red, it was going to be not much of a loss for me. So. Then on Thursday, I played Apple again. Played Apple quite a bit this week. Apple puts at 931. Oh yeah, I remember this. You have the big gap up. I was looking at it. Let's see in the trade ideas room what I said for that day. The 14th, SPY puts under 438 and Apple puts under 141.75, and which 141.75 was down here. Well, kind of around right here, but I ended up grabbing it up here a little more. I like to buy before it breaks the levels for anticipation because I end up making big drops. So I had the 142 puts at 85 cents and it went to $1.05. So nice little dollar, not dollar, 20-cent move on that. Then I ended up grabbing, let's see, Tesla. Tesla was one that I, no, it was Amazon. Okay, let's, one day at a time. We'll get to that in a minute. Tesla, I grabbed puts at 921, right? No, 1021, 1020, right here. So you can see, gap up. It's chopping in this area, and if it gets under this 180, 118, did I say anything to trade ideas? No, I didn't. Chopped a little bit. I grabbed it right here. 795 puts at $1.87 and it dropped and went to 208. Not much of a move. I like to play Tesla the same way I play SPX, 50 cents to $1 move and just get out. And it didn't quite do that. It chopped and it did end up popping. So kind of glad that I didn't try to get too greedy because, you know, Tesla had a big day on Friday. Okay, then I had SPY puts. Let's see. Now, this is the kind of days I really hate seeing SPY. Now, I'll show you exactly why. You blow up the pull up the two areas on the hourly. Okay, you have a SPY that gapped up quite a bit, 435 around down, 435.20, and it gapped up to 439. It's, you're talking a $4 or $5 gap up. I hate these big gap ups because when you have these big gap ups, I don't like buying them and chasing them. I just don't like it. I'm not very comfortable. And these exaggerated moves. Am I looking at the right day here? Yeah, okay. I don't like seeing these monster gap ups and just gapping and going. Usually when you have these big monster gap ups, they like to dip a little bit, then they rip. Now, if it dipped more, I mean, it did dip a little bit, but I mean, if it dipped more down to the 438 area, I would definitely be more willing to look at it from the long side for a J hook move. But I don't like buying and chasing after it's already run $4 or $5 pre-market. They end up selling off some of the times, most of the times, and this time it just kept going. Now, it'd be different if it just like went flat right here, then it just popped, but I don't like seeing these big gap ups like right here up to here and it just running. I don't like seeing that because they don't usually last long. Like right here, I had a nice little gap up from 434 to 438. You had almost a $4 gap up right there. Then it popped a little bit. Then it ended up retracing, but it didn't here at all. It just kept going. I don't like that it does that. I really, really don't. I mean, if you want to chase it, go for it. You can chase it all you want. I'm not chasing it. I've been in this game way too long to know that when you have these huge gap ups, they end up being a fake out sooner or later, or turning midday like it did right here. And I'm not going to get caught in the chase, and I don't like chasing when it's up that much, especially with SPY. For the last 2 weeks, it's been selling the pops, and this could have been a huge trap. And so that's what I was thinking. I was too busy looking for the top. So, and that was probably my mistake on the on this. So this ended up being the loss. I got 439 puts at $1.02 at 1038, which is probably right here. Yep. Pop up, red candle right here, thinking, okay, this is going to be the reversal. Kind of got that mindset all day long. Massive gap up. It's already up 435 to 441, $6 run. And you can never really, I mean, SPY usually stays in a range, and sometimes it just has these exaggerated days, kind of like Roku. I like to just compare it to Roku, because when SPY just sometimes, when it has these exaggerated days, it just wants to make a $10 move and just doesn't care. And today was one of those days it just didn't care and it just kept going. So I did try to catch the top right here. Mistake number one, I shouldn't have done that. I should have waited for a lower high, and because the next high was higher, the higher high right there. But I was too busy trying to catch the top. I made a mistake right there, and that's half my losses this week. I should say probably 3 or 4 of them were because of dumb mistakes I made, and this is definitely one of them. And then I ended up grabbing SPY puts again at 302, which is right here. Now I'm almost certain I thought about grabbing it right there, but I think I was trying to be smart, look for a lower high or waiting for an end of day. But right here, I was going with the thesis that we've had for the last couple weeks, 3 o'clock, end of the day dump. And I grabbed the 442 puts at $1.16, and it did have a little bit of a dump right there. It doesn't look like much because of the way the chart looks, because it's gone 435 to 443, almost a dollar move. But it went from 432.30 to 41.60, so it was almost a dollar move, 80-cent move. And the puts ended up going from 116 to 153. Not a massive dump, but a little bit of a drop. Then it of course it recovered, then it gapped up more. Then it gapped up more again from 442 to only a couple of bucks. But anyways, so I kind of made a dumb move right here. I shouldn't have taken that, but it is what it is. Then Friday, I took 3 losses. I took too many trades. I took way too many trades. I did too many mistakes. So yeah. Let's see. Now, Friday, I had Facebook puts. Let's see what the trade ideas room said. Roku calls over 333. Facebook puts under 328. Now, Facebook did take off. Right here, as you can see, it popped up. It started to come back down, and I liked it under this 438 level right here, which was previous day's lows. As you can see, it was making a descending triangle. It was chopping on this 138 level, and I knew if that broke this 328, that it was going to get slammed, and it got slammed. So I had the 327.50 puts at $1.21, and they went to $5.25. So that was a nice 300% move right there. So then I ended up grabbing see SPY again. Now I grabbed SPY puts. How many I grabbed SPY puts? I grabbed the 445 puts at $1, and they were at 10.29. Right here. I got 10.29 right here. Not quite sure why I grabbed it right there. Let me just bring it down to a smaller time frame. 10.29. I grabbed it right here, right at the bottom. I think I was probably thinking that we're going to retest lower day and possibly break. That's what I was probably thinking. I probably shouldn't have chased it because I was chasing this. I chased this drop right here. But, you know, I was looking at it from the point of view that we've had such an exaggerated move on Thursday. It popped into the fake out. We were going to do one of these moves right here. Pop up, drop, pop up, drop. That's what I was thinking we were going to do. We popped up a little bit and we were going to drop down to previous day close. We didn't. So that was loss 1 for that day. I think, 4 for the week. Then Amazon had a really monstrous day, but they had news. You had to have chased it in order to have done well. I mean, if you got down here and you got before the news drop, you got lucky. The chances of you getting in Amazon before it had a monster run, you just slim to none. But you could have chased it here, 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 and here. I wasn't chasing it. I mean, it was over. I can't remember what it was. A CFO getting appointed, or another officer of the company got appointed, or something like that. It was sometimes those moves just. I don't like chasing those kind of moves because sometimes they don't really end up going that much, but Amazon just went crazy. So I did try to grab Amazon 33.50 puts at 250 at what time did I grab them? 1:30, which is right 1:30 right here. Now they went from 250 to 272, so that must have got that little drop right in here. Let me double check the time. 1:30. 1:30. Let me bring it down a small time frame. Where's 1:30? Right here. I must have bought it. Oh yeah, okay. This is what I probably did. I got it right in here when it popped back up. And I sold it right in here when it came back down. So I did buy it in a little retracement up in here. Bring it back to the 10-minute. It's not much of a gain, only 22 cents, something like that. So at this point, I'm looking at it from the point of view that we were going to, you have this massive pop, and usually what ends up happening is that when you get these massive exaggerated moves, they end up chopping, then they end up dropping and losing part of their gains, and it just did not happen. So double topped right there, and we kind of making a kind of flat time. It was also making an ascending wedge right there. I did see that. Oh, I see cleaner up bothering me. So you had not much of a move right there, only 22 cents. Then I grabbed it again. I kept trying to call the top on this, and I probably should have definitely waited for the area. I even said in the rooms, Amazon puts under 373, and didn't even get underneath 373 because that was this area. I grabbed it right here. I was kind of like looking at it from the point of view that if it got underneath this area right here, it was going to flush. So I grabbed it a little premature, thinking we were going to get a nice little drop. And this is what I'm talking about. Look how far away from the 20 EMA, which is the blue line. It chopped and brought it right to it. And it kind of like didn't really touch it, but it came close. But anyways, I did grab the oh, okay. I'm seeing this wrong. I got the wrong timestamps. Okay, the first Amazon play I had was 11:16. Okay, this is making more sense to me now, right here, because I do remember taking it right here, because this was the first candle that started to look bearish. I did grab it right here. This is the 33.65 puts at $1.40 at 250, and they went to 272 right here. Okay, this makes more sense. This is where I grabbed it right there. And that was the first one. Now this is where I took the loss right here at the 130 right there. Okay, this is where I took the loss. The double top coming back down, and obviously it went against me right there. But yeah, this is the one that was the winner right there, and this was the one that was the loser. I just everything's blurring in together. My memory's crap. So yeah, that Amazon, I really thought the double top was going to end up dropping. That was going to solidify the drop to the 20 EMA, and it just didn't. So it ended up popping, and it just took off, and such a huge move. And I bet you it will probably end up pulling back a little bit on Monday. But I don't know. The hourly's starting to look pretty good, and yeah, well, I don't know. It could reject this 34.26 area, but we'll have to see. Usually when you get these exaggerated moves, like an RCT trend line is pointing down on the 2 hour, and it gets away from it, it pulls back. So it could end up pulling back, but it doesn't do me any good now because I'm not in the play. But anyways, I really thought that this was going to be a nice little play. This was a nice little drop. I really thought this was going to be a bigger drop than what it was too, but this one ended up being a loss. So that was loss number 2 for the day, 5 for the week. Now, let's see. I took SPX puts at 306. Now, I do remember this. SPX at 306, which is right here. Nope, 306. Right there. I grabbed it right on this little drop. The 365 puts went from $1.80 to 220, 235. So it was like 50 cent move. That's what I did. Took my 50 cents, got in and out. Got that little drop right there. Doesn't look like much of a drop because of the way the chart is. So I mean, the RC trade trend line is down here at 437. SPY's going to end up pulling back this week. I think it will pull back this week, and based on what I'm seeing, I think it's going to. But I'll cover that in the watch list. But this right here, 50 cent drop right there. Then it bounced, and we've been having the end of the day drops, but Friday it dropped and it was a fake out, and so okay, I was thinking, okay, maybe we'll actually squeeze. So when we got this little drop, chopped on the VWAP area, and lately what ends up happening is, except minus this day, when it chops on VWAP, it ends up failing. If it chops under VWAP, it ends up popping. So, but it was chopping on VWAP right here. I almost grabbed puts again right here, but I didn't, and I end up grabbing calls right at the 43.75 calls at 328, which is right here. 328, right in here. I grabbed it right here. Had this little drop here, got the pop. It rebounded pretty quickly. I thought for sure, because it bounced off VWAP, it was gonna pop, go to not all-time highs, go to high a day and just squeeze into close, but it didn't. It just chopped. So the calls I had end of day just ended up going to 0 and just didn't work out well. So that's what it did last Friday too, I think. Let's go to last Friday. I'm almost certain. Friday. No, Friday it didn't have an end of the day drop. Yeah, but it's just sometimes you just get these days where you think they're gonna drop, or they get stuck in a channel and they just don't do anything end of day. And this was one of those ones that just chopped. But it was also monthly expiration. That's when you end up seeing a lot of shenanigans. You can see big pushes, big dumps, pins, because you have a lot of the open interest, and the market makers will try to screw as many of the option holders as possible by trying to, if there's too many put holders, they'll squeeze it to screw the puts. If there's too many call holders, they'll dump it to screw the calls. And if there's a lot on both sides, they'll try to pin it and try to get most of them to go out of the money as possible, so they don't have to pay as much. So it's just monthly expiration days. They end up being the ones that have a lot of shenanigans, and they just chopped it and pinned it. So it end up being another loss, third loss of the day. I got to dial it back on Fridays and just not trade as much. But I mean, it's hard to tell what it's gonna do. You just don't know what it's going to do at the end of the day. I mean, you think it's going to go one way, then it ends up going the other. And it has really nothing to do with where it's at on the chart. It has a lot to do with the market makers and what their games they're going to play end of day. And right here, I mean, it dumped hard, recovered quickly. So I really thought that at first I was thinking we were going to dump into close to 40 to 444 or a lower day, but when it quickly bounced right here and came back down and bounced again, I thought for sure it was going to squeeze, but it just didn't. Just more end of the day shenanigans. And most of the times I hit him, once in a while I don't. I didn't on Friday, so it is what it is. So hopefully the recap has helped you understand. I probably rambled a lot, probably stumbled a lot. I mean, kind of half asleep. So yeah, I should have done the video yesterday, but I just didn't feel like it. I just wanted to have a full day to myself, and I usually do the recaps on Saturday, and I just didn't want to do them, and I just did them today. I'll just do both videos today and stuff like that. So that's going to do it for the watch, not the watch list, the recap. The watch list is coming up next, though. So thanks for watching.